On this episode of Sloan's Wilderness Expeditions, we find ourselves back in Yellowstone National Park, hiking along a canyon's edge and spotting more wildlife than we've ever seen on any single trail before. Come along as we hike the Yellowstone River Specimen Ridge Loop Trail.
Hey fellow expeditionists, we're in Yellowstone National Park.
Today we're doing the Yellowstone River Overlook Trail to Specimen Ridge. This hike begins at the Yellowstone River picnic area, just east of Tower Junction. We would begin on the Yellowstone River Overlook Trail, following the edge of the canyon with spectacular views of the Yellowstone River. We would then take the Specimen Ridge Trail back for a full hike of nearly 4 miles with about 450 feet elevation gain. So the trail has around 460 foot elevation gain. I'm pretty sure almost all of it was right there at the beginning. I'm already out of breath. First thing in the morning. What's the first thing you notice out here at Yellowstone, Catfish?
It smells like sulfur.
The sulfur smell is the first thing that hits you. Well, we drove through a lot of fog this morning. There's not just fog. It's one of the steam pipes. That steam across the river is actually not from a thermal vent, but rather from the calcite springs. The fog is created when the hot water from the springs contacts the colder water of the river. Hello, marmot family. I think she said hello back. There we go, blue skies. I know they're just marmots, but there's like at least 6 that we spotted, so it's a whole marmot family, and they're absolutely adorable, cute little things. We've seen plenty of marmots before, but nothing like this. This was more like a prairie dog town, but with marmots. There were dozens of them, in the grass, on the hillside, on the rocks. Funny little critters. Marmots on almost all the rocks up here. There's a huge marmot population. The Yellowstone River is one of America's few northward flowing rivers. It actually travels 670 miles north before emptying into the Missouri River in northeast North Dakota, and it is the longest undammed river in the continental United States. Well, we might have found some bighorn sheep up here on the trail. We went in for a little bit of a closer look, just to kind of make sure. That's probably good. Yellowstone advises to stay a minimum of 25 yards away from bighorn sheep, and we were well beyond that. But these girls didn't really seem to care about what Yellowstone says. They just didn't much like us being there.
All right, they said that they don't like our presence up here watching them. They don't want the paparazzi, apparently. So we're trying to maintain the proper distance. Yeah, we're still kind of laughing at ourselves for having some bighorn sheep there chase us off. We were well beyond the range we were supposed to be in, but yeah, they didn't like us being in their territory, so they shoot us out. So other than having bighorn sheep move us along, this has got to be one of the most peaceful hikes I've ever done here at Yellowstone. Got this beautiful meadow up on this ridge, mountains all around, bird song. Well, we've about reached the end of the Yellowstone River Overlook Trail before we head up and hit the Specimen Ridge. But this is kind of the peak view right here. You can see the Yellowstone River Valley down below. Off behind the rocks on this side would be the Tower Falls. All right, we have come to the junction with Specimen Ridge. Now, if you take the full thing, it's quite a few miles long. It goes up that hill behind us, and it is a very long one-way hike. So we're not going to do that, obviously. We're taking the Specimen Ridge back to continue our loop. I'm really enjoying this, though. Literally only cool. One other set of hikers so far, and some very friendly wildlife.
Some wildlife may be a little too friendly.
Maybe. We just got our first bison sighting here off the Specimen Ridge Trail. It's right up that hill. I'll have to move a little bit, see if I can get a better view.
Pretty cool that we got to see the Yellowstone bantha and is going away in the opposite direction.
Yellowstone bantha, huh?
Yep.
We had already seen some unique birds, marmots, ground squirrels, bighorn sheep, and of course a bison. But one thing I did not expect to see was a badger.
Its burrow.
The badger had a lot of holes and burrows it would disappear in and out of, so it was very difficult to capture on film.
Yeah, I was not expecting to see a badger in the wild. It's the first time we've actually seen one. Did not actually expect them to be that big. Well, it was from a pretty long distance, but now it can add pronghorn to the list of animals we've seen on this trail.
The only downside to doing this loop was that the last half mile is along the roadside. But if we hadn't done it, we would have missed out on the bison, the badger, and the pronghorn. So it was totally worth it.
All right, the last half mile of this loop hike is on the road to get back to the trailhead where we started. But there is kind of an animal trail about, 40, 50 feet inside from the road that we're kind of taking right now, just to avoid walking where all the traffic's at. All right, so that was our 4-mile hike roughly up the Yellowstone River Overlook Trail and around to the Specimen Ridge and back. Beautiful trail, very, very quiet and serene. And the amount of wildlife we got to see was totally unexpected. Catfish, tell us some of the things we did see.
We got to see marmots, ground squirrels, a bison, badger, and pronghorn.
Right. Yeah, those bighorn sheep. Remember them coming at us?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably a memory we'll never forget. Cool experience. Love this. Absolutely, if you have a chance, come out here and hike this. It's an easy trail for the most part. Like I said, about 450 or so foot elevation. Not bad for being in the mountains. We're on to see what else we can see here at Yellowstone. Till next time.
Peace out.